So, in this video, we're going to talk about the Greens' chances at the next election. Seats that I think they should be campaigning in to reflect potential or close to potential vote share. Now, in the last election, the Greens, based on first preferences nationally, got around about an eighth of the vote, or about 12 to 12.5%. Now again, if that was reflected in the House of Reps, they'd be getting about 18 seats, but granted it's focused on electorates, not national vote share. Now, two such seats where I think the Greens have said they were going to campaign hard on were Macnamara, which I think they were only, if we can go back and have a look at it, Macnamara was only about a few thousand votes off. But let's have a look. There we go. So Stephen McNamara, yeah, that's mind-blowing. But if you have a look, it actually does show that the Greens actually overtook the Liberals in that seat. So I think if the Liberals wanted to sock a wrench into Labor's plans, because it shows a two-party preferred result, but my suspect feeling is I think there was just enough independent candidates that I think backed, or not backed the Liberals so much. Actually, yeah, because if you have a look at it, United Australia, Liberal Democrats and One Nation likely put the Liberals just above the Greens. But you've got to wonder how many voters would turn from Labor to the Greens. It is a inner city seat, or close to inner city anyway. Taking what, Port Melbourne, Albert Park. So certainly the richer parts of town, but there certainly seems to be enough of a green contingent as well. Yeah, this seat's definitely one of those seats that's worth keeping an eye out for, at least at the next election. Should be an interesting one. The other seat that I think was pretty close that was definitely worth looking at is the seat of Wills, held by Bob Hawke at one point. This particular seat, two candidate preferred, actually had Greens going over Labor. This is definitely another one of those seats worth looking out for, because the Greens would have gotten just enough on preferences to overtake the Liberals, or to stay ahead of the Liberals anyway, which wouldn't have necessarily been the case with Macnamara. I think the Liberals would have gotten ahead of the Greens on preferences, but wouldn't have won the seat. Whereas this is a different story. The Greens were still ahead of Liberals even after most other preferences, but they still wouldn't have beaten the Labor back in 2022. 2025 could be different, especially considering the electorate and considering the issues affected. The other electorates I have considered them, or have considered that they should be campaigning on, were Adelaide, Canberra, Fremantle, Perth and Sydney. I reckon any other CBD seats, inner metro seats that the Greens can get, might help them negotiate through Parliament. Because at the moment, I think Labor has to deal with the Greens in the upper house, but they don't necessarily have to deal with them in the lower house. Something worth keeping an eye on.